just don't get around.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be making some apple cider donuts. The recipe will be linked down in the description box down below. So when I went to the apple orchard, I was able to get 2 of these little pints. This was $3.49. So luckily I left this one out today in order just to make these, but I still have to do what I have to do by putting it in a saucepan and bringing it to a boil and letting it simmer over some medium heat until it's thick and reduced. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and put my oven on 350 because that's what it's going to need to be on. So then I need to find my donut pan. Unfortunately, I don't have the actual round donut one. I have the one with like the ridges. So that's what I'm going to be using today. And so in a large bowl, I'm going to be putting in the flour, the baking powder, the baking soda, the spices and salt. I'm going to set that aside. And then I am going to, in a smaller bowl, I'm going to whisk together the egg, the granulated sugar, and the brown sugar until combined. And then I will whisk in some melted butter. I will add the reduced apple cider, milk, and vanilla extract, and I'll mix until it's combined. And then I will pour the mixture into the flour mixture. Of course, the dry with the wet with the dry. And then we'll whisk it all together until combined and smooth. And then I won't over mix the batter. I'll divide the mixture between the donuts and fill it about halfway. My recommendation is to use a piping bag, just so that, you know, it'll make it much easier and less messy. And I'll bake them for about 10 minutes, and then I'll try to insert a toothpick into them and until they come out clean. The donuts will cool off in the pan for about 5 minutes, and then I'll transfer them to a wire rack. Meanwhile, I'll be making a topping, which is just basically consisted of the sugar, cinnamon, and nutmeg, which is going to be mixed up in a medium bowl, which will just be this. And then once they're cool enough to handle each donut, I'll dip both sides in the melted butter and then generously dip them into the sugar mix. And donuts are best when served immediately. Leftovers can be kept in the fridge for up to 3 days. So you can serve them warm or at room temperature. But anyways, let's just get into this video. So I have my sauce. I have my apple cider. I have my saucepan, and I'm ready to put it over here. And I'm going to put it on medium heat. And I have to measure out the apple cider. So I end up having to open a whole new apple cider gallon, half a gallon, because I needed to fill up the remaining. Good thing I had it. And so you're just going to put it into the saucepan and let it heat on medium for about 15 to 20 minutes until it gets thick. And then you'll be ready to reduce it down to 1/3. Alright, so in the meantime, you're going to want to get that vegetable oil and have your donut pan ready. Unfortunately, this is what I have. These are little mini, like almost like little mini bundt cake pan. So this is what I'm going to use. It's still going to turn out just fine. So you need half a teaspoon of baking soda, and you also want to use a sifter. You're also going to want to add in 1 teaspoon of baking powder through the sifter, and they just say to sift it. So you're also going to need flour. All of the ingredients will be in the description box down below, because I know that it's very hard to keep up with what's on screen. So get yourself out a piece of paper and a pen and go down to the description box down below and simply write it down. After this video and you see what you see and you like what you see, go and make them. That way you have the recipe. Even if you don't make them today, when you watch this video, put it into your recipe book like I do mine. All of my recipes are in a 3-inch ring binder, sorted into sections between breakfast, lunch and dinner is together, desserts, and then seasonal treats. This is just how I am when it comes to baking and cooking. I like to have recipes on hand that I can just whip out of a binder and have in front of me for things like this. So you're still sifting your flour, which is of course what you want to do. Next, you're going to want to add in some ground nutmeg. So we're adding in the ground cinnamon. You're going to want to sift that too, as well as salt. Whatever's left in the sifter, I just threw in the trash because obviously it was needed. So in a separate bowl, you're going to whisk together the egg, the granulated sugar, and brown sugar until it's well combined. You'll then whisk in the melted butter. You will add the reduced apple cider, which was brought down to a 1/3 cup. And then you're going to use milk and vanilla extract and mix until it's combined. You then are going to pour it into the mixture that you made with the flour, all the dry ingredients, and you'll just whisk that until it's combined together and smooth. Do not over mix your batter.
About time we stop pretending. Come home with me. Let's write a history. Tonight I'll make you see. It's all about us. It's all about us. It's all about us. We're dancing close together, making out. It's all about us. It's all about us. There's a magic in your eyes. Can't get enough. I can't get enough. It's all about us. It's all about us. It's all about us. It's all about us. Time to go home. Don't want this night to end. Yeah, about time we stop pretending. Come home with me. Let's write a history. Tonight I'll make you see. It's all about us. It's all about us. As we're dancing close together, making out. It's all about us. It's all about us. There's a magic in your eyes. Can't get enough. Can't get enough.
All right, so this is at the point where you want to mix in the mixture of the liquid into the dry ingredients. Make sure that you're mixing really good to get all of that flour from the bottom and the sides of the bowl. I even used this spatula just so that I could scrape all of the wet ingredients into the dry ingredients. Y'all, at this point, you're going to want to literally like lick the bowl, but understand it is eggs in this, so I did not. But at this point, I really wanted to lick that bowl And the spatula, I really just wanted to get some on my hands just to lick it, but I chose not to. So at this point, you should be smelling apple cider. You should be smelling those spices. And you should realize at this point, you're basically 3/4 of the way there. You just need to make sure that it is mixed up all the way. You just don't want to overmix your batter. So I end up using a fork just to make sure that everything was combined together, because the spatula is not going to always get everything together. So in order to put the mixture into the pan, I wanted to put it into the Ziploc bag. That way I can just cut a corner and let it just drip into it, but I can also control how much goes in there.
I'm buzzing, let's drink up. Your death look like big fun. Come on, let's get it on. Like that Marvin Gaye song. I'm stunning, you love it. Come on, give me something. I know that you want it. Come on, give me something. The night is young and so are we. So maybe you should leave with me. The night is young and so are we, baby. The night is young, so let's have some fun. If you love me right, yeah.
And here we are. So I'm just cutting a corner, really small corner. That way it is so easy to get it into the donut cavities of this pan. So I'm just going to fill about halfway full. And I definitely recommend using like a piping bag or a Ziploc bag. Otherwise you will have a mess trying to pour it into these holes. It'll be much easier. So these go into the oven on 350 for about 10 minutes. And when the timer goes off, use a toothpick inserted into the middle to see if the donuts come out clean. After they come out, you want to let them cool in a pan for about 5 minutes and then transfer them to a wire rack. Meanwhile, we're going to be making the topping. So in a medium bowl mixed together, I am mixing the sugar, cinnamon, and nutmeg. And once the donuts are cool enough, I'm going to heat up some melted butter, and then I will dip the donut into the melted butter on each side and then generously dip them into the sugar mix. Donuts are best served immediately. Leftovers can be kept in the fridge for up to 3 days. You can serve them warm or at room temperature.
Let's go.
All right, so you want to cut up your butter, melt it in the microwave for a few minutes, and then you'll be ready to dip the apple cider donut into this melted butter. Boom. So what you got is your mixture, your apple cider donuts that are cooled down just a little bit. You got your melted butter. So I wanted to remove the apple cider donuts from the actual container and put them on the top of the container. That way, once they were dipped into the butter and the sugar, I could transfer it back into the clear container. So you just want to dip on both sides, and then you want to put it into the sugar mix, and I put it back into the container. You can choose to line your container with wax paper or aluminum foil, just so that you know, wouldn't have to deal with a sugary mess at the bottom. Totally up to you. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video as I am making apple cider donuts. I hope that it has inspired you to make some of your own. Doing fall treats is a really great thing to do because you get to try using all of the fall spices. So if you like this video, please give it a huge thumbs up. Please make sure that you are subscribed to the channel so that you can catch the next video. And be sure to comment down below what you think of these, if you're going to try them, or what you would do differently. Thanks for watching.